Hello, guys. Welcome back. Not really a official episode, but we're going to be doing a new thing for this season. Just weekly reviews of the games and our perspectives on what happened. Hopefully shorter ones. Hopefully, who knows with us though.
It will be.
You may have. I mean, if people pay attention, Greg's setting has changed. He's
Oh
he's
yeah,
he's back in his Manchester living. Oh,
with friends, with friends.
with friends. Right, straight into it. The first game that kicked off our new season, Fulham Arsenal, the 12:30 kickoff, a 3-0 from Arsenal, and they looked good. I won't, they looked good.
Yeah,
They did.
I mean, I have to say, it reminded me a little bit as a game of when we played Norwich last season, of a
Mm.
team that came up. And I know they got beat 3-0, but I still thought Fulham actually played some pretty good football.
I thought they played
So I was
decent.
actually, yeah, I was quite impressed with them. I thought they were going to not play as well as they did, even though they lost 3-0. But I mean, for a debut, Willian had a brilliant game for
He
Arsenal and
was
Gabriel as well. I mean,
well. Gabriel got man of the match, and it was going
yeah.
to be between him and Willian because Willian, I was just like he just controlled most of it. He was everywhere when I was watching. And then he played a lovely pass to Aubameyang for their third goal.
I
And
mean, that's according to Martin Keown, that's goal of the season already. It was 59 minutes into the new campaign and goal of the season. Can you believe it? That's mad.
well, where was it? We'll get on to when I believe it was in the Liverpool Leeds game, and I said, well, I think we've seen save of the season already, but we'll get on to that. We'll get on to that. I
Yeah,
think the first goal, obviously bundled in keeper. It was a missed kick by Fulham defender, and then it just bobbled everywhere, and then the keeper palmed it, and Lacazette tapped it in. And then from that, Arsenal seemed to take more control of the game. But for me, I didn't think Fulham not scoring represented the game. 3 goals for Arsenal represented them,
yeah.
but I felt like Fulham, for everything they were doing for coming up again, deserved something. Like maybe
Mhm.
it would have been a consolation, but a consolation.
Yeah,
Anything
I
to
mean,
add?
I can't. Sorry, I just had like a hot flush. I swear to God. It's just in case you don't know when we're recording. It's currently Tuesday the 15th, and there's been like a weird heat wave in September. So yeah, sorry, had a moment there. Um, but no, yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Arsenal played really well the game. Maybe the result wasn't reflective of how it panned out. Fulham maybe could have grabbed one or two, but I mean, apart from that, I mean, we predicted Tottenham to finish above Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, I
And I know it's
believe.
really early in the season. It's been one game week, but looking how Arsenal played and
And
looking how
then,
Tottenham
yeah,
played, I mean, I'm worried about that already. But there's a long way to
we
go, obviously.
we said that Arsenal. No, we said Arsenal would finish fifth, Tottenham finished sixth. So we're
All right, okay,
we're
no,
okay.
that's
We're
fine.
okay from that one
Can deal with that.
performance. Right, moving on to the next game. It would like what I have here. There were the 3 p.m. games. Obviously, the Burnley, Man United, and Man City, Aston Villa were postponed. Next game, Crystal Palace, Southampton, 1-0. Zaha. Not really much to say about it, really. You, before we started recording, did say that you didn't see anything but the goal. I did. I watched extended highlights, which was like 40 minutes of everything. I don't really know
Yeah,
how they extended it because nothing really happened. Zaha, I thought, I mean, he got the goal, but I did think he was the best player on the pitch. But I thought Palace get 3 points. Good start to the season for them. And Southampton coming off like Danny Ings getting 22 goals from open play, and but yes, obviously it's only one game. He might bring those goals in, but there wasn't that much from Southampton.
yeah. I mean, all I have to add to it is, yeah, obviously all I saw was the Zaha goal, and I'm annoyed at that because I had McCarthy net in my fantasy team. So that was one thing that spoiled my abysmal week on fantasy football, and I'm sure we'll get
Yes,
into that a lot later. But
yes,
God,
yes.
I had a terrible week, mate.
Oh, so did I. I believe we're on the same points.
We had a
But
terrible week,
the
mate.
thing is, we say that, but there are. I believe we're fifth out of 10 in our 10, and another person's been added, so we'll be out of 11. So we are mid-table. But then there's a few people. Then obviously there's people above us, and one of the people, I think he's got 74 points, and even that is half of what the highest in the world got. Because
Yeah.
some people were playing their triple captain first game week. I mean, it worked out. Salah got a hat trick, but
I'm just annoyed. I spent like 4 hours looking at my Finnish team, thinking, you know something,
yeah.
this team here, this is
So,
going to do
yeah.
bits for me. No, it doesn't.
No. Well,
Anyway, moving on.
yes. Well, I thought. Well, I looked at mine. We'll do bits because I had Allison and Van Dijk, and we'll get onto the game now. Liverpool Leeds. What on
What a
earth
corker.
happened? That
Well,
was
it was a good game.
That's what I mean. It was amazing. Leeds. I felt obviously you got they were penalties. They were. But I
The
felt
first one was harsher than the second
yes.
one.
Oh, the
Like,
second
definitely.
one. The second one was a striker's tackle in the box, which it
Yeah.
actually was. Salah gets a hat trick, as I mentioned, but Leeds came from behind at Anfield, first game, 3 times, and they looked.
Honestly,
Bamford could have scored beforehand, but he went trying to go around Allison, and I thought he would chip it. But you got the 3 points, but your defence. Look, I know it's first game, but you could see the February the COVID return of last season, and
I understand where people are coming from. Don't get me wrong, and I get this whole thing of, it carried on after the project restart and you were bad then, and I understand all that, but I'm just trying to keep a nice, fresh perspective on things, thinking, you know something, first game of the season, let's just all calm down a little bit, let's get settled into our stuff, and then I'm sure it'll be okay. That's the optimistic in me.
Yeah.
The pessimist in me is going, we're absolutely, that word, and I'm a bit worried because, I mean, Trent was getting turned inside out. Yes, we know it's not amazing defensively.
Your right-hand side, which is surprisingly what England were putting out as well, was shocking. Gomez was, I don't know what he was. He was just there.
Well, Van Dijk as well. He's normally the rock.
Yeah.
And
obviously, I think it's because you weren't prepared for what Leeds were going to do. I don't think anyone apart from Leeds fans, and not even all of them, probably would say we saw us do that.
No, I mean, I thought they'd come and play well.
So did I, but
not that well. Not that well. That was like, what? Where's this coming from?
I know once you scored and they scored and you scored, and it was that they couldn't hold the draw. I mean, they did when it was 3-3, and then you got there. But for the first bit, but they were just attacking you, and you didn't know. It was quite obviously the passes got Bamford through for his goal, but Van Dijk was losing Bamford all the time. Van Dijk was following the ball, and Bamford was just in so much space. If the pass gets through, Bamford, against a lesser team, maybe Bamford probably could have had a hat trick.
All I'm going to say is, by the time the Euros come around, 2021, Bamford's going to be leading the line for the country. That's it. No Harry Kane, none of that. Patrick Bamford, telling you now.
It was. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I wanted you got the 3 points, and that's at the end of the day in the Premier League. That's all that's going to matter. But from the performance, it should have been a draw. Really, both teams deserved. If you're looking at, if you were giving out points and you look at everything that happened, you go, okay, both of you deserve 1.
Yeah. I mean, what I will say is that I'm quite confident in our prediction of Leeds are going to be fine in this league. They're not going to struggle. However, the honest counter to that I want to say is we've seen them play against us, and obviously we kind of all out attacking, and it's end-to-end football. It'll be interesting to see how they compare when they play a team like maybe a Burnley or a Sheffield United, who are a lot more compact, solid defensively, and how they'll fare breaking them down and a team trying to hit them on the counter rather than them doing it to a team like us.
I think the thing that I was thinking was how long can that intensity be able to have that intensity? Because I know they play more games of the Championship, but the lower down teams of the Championship, the Premier League, as Werner said in his interview, the physicality of it, can they keep this intensity for the 37 games? But no, they'll be fine. They will be fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, final game from the Saturday was West Ham Newcastle. 2-0 for Newcastle. The debut boys got to get their goals. Callum Wilson and Hendrick.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's going to sound like, hello, you do football podcast, but this was on straight after the Leeds Liverpool game, and my sister's a Leeds fan, so me and her went to the pub, and I was like with some mates like after she'd left, and all I'm going to say is that was a really heavy night, so I completely forgot the Newcastle game even happened. But yeah, Jeff Hendrick had a mad one, didn't he? He got an assist and the goal.
Got the assist for the. I completely forgot he joined Newcastle because he was linked with AC Milan.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's just in a Newcastle shirt. I was just like, okay. But he had a worldie. He got the assist for the Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's goal was just the poachers, like the strikers. Oh, there's a ball coming. Let me touch it before the keeper can get it. Near post.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hendrick's goal was nicely put away in the top corner. West Ham, they did play the first half. They played better than, obviously they conceded the 2 goals in the second half. They played all right. I didn't see, like, in the first half, there was balance. Both the teams were attacking, but then in the second half, the team talks. I don't know what David Moyes said to them, but I think he might have just said do the same again. And then Steve Bruce.
Probably on Zoom it was probably on Zoom to Fellaini or something, like trying to persuade him to come over.
And then Newcastle just came out with a different intensity and got the win, and it was a deserved win.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's I don't want to call us predicting gods at the moment, but that's West Ham looking shaky early on. Losing to Newcastle, bottom 3 material.
Yeah, it is. I was listening to something, and it was another. They had like 2 West Ham fans on after the game, and one of the fans just went, "We'll just go down now, really." He was, because he was saying what I've been reading of what I've seen, that the club, like, there's so much between the chairman and like the actual the players. They're just butting heads with each other, and part of the club's crashing. So it could be a long, terrible season for West Ham.
Yep.
Right. Sunday, the first game, West Brom Leicester. Jamie Vardy got 2 goals, 2 penalties after their. Yes, I know you are. That saved your fantasy though,
because mate, 100%.
Take away 2 Vardy goals, and you had. But
just to clarify how bad this was, right? I had 3 players get more than 2 points. One of them was St. Maximin, who got 3 points, and then it was just Aubameyang and Vardy. That was it.
Well, Vardy got the 2 penalties after their new signing scored on his debut. All in the second half yet again, and West Brom in the first half didn't do. They held them 0-0. They didn't do that much wrong. Mm-hmm. They played like the stereotypical of, we've just been promoted, let's try and get a point here. Never will go for the win, in my opinion. Let's get a point here. And up until the 50th minute, which was 6 minutes before Leicester got their opener, so basically the whole of the first half, they did all right. And you could have seen them getting the point, and then it just all fell apart, and they just, as we saw, gave away 2 penalties in 10 minutes, and Leicester had a nice breezy win in the end.
I mean, in fairness to West Brom, like, they're not. That game isn't going to be like the type of game that's going to keep them up. Like, at the end of the day, Leicester are like a really tough opposition. So, and I mean, they've added today an absolute Premier League legend, Branislav Ivanovic, is coming back to the league at the ripe old age of 35 or 36. Yes. So
he couldn't quite make it in Russia or Zenit, so he's gone back to the Prem.
To the Baggies to wear their lovely away top.
Right. We mentioned it briefly when we were talking about Arsenal. Tottenham, Everton. Obviously, Everton get the 1-0 win. Calvert-Lewin's header was a bullet. And
Mate,
for me, he should be his name should be mentioned to Gareth Southgate, in my opinion. I
fair.
because he carried him and Richarlison carried that Everton team last season,
Yeah,
and for me, I don't know. I feel like we need more players like him because we don't act like he I, he just I don't know what it is, but he just brings something that I like to see in a striker, and I
that's
think
fair enough.
yeah, I think obviously Danny Ings has got his call up because he almost got a golden boot, and obviously Harry Kane will be there, and then Tammy Abraham. But for me, Calvert-Lewin over Tammy Abraham. That's just me though.
Fair enough.
But
No,
yes,
I mean, I have to say, like, with the game itself, I mean, Everton looked really good. Like,
oh they did,
actually really good.
they
Like,
did.
I know they only won 1-0, but their new midfield, like, all
Their
three of them
midfield,
came in. I mean, James was just pinging balls about all day. That ball he kept doing where Richarlison was just, like, going out to the left and was
yeah.
just in space. James was pinging that ball all day. Alan was just really good. I was
Well,
really impressed by him. New league,
they
first game.
played a sort of technically it's between like a 4-3-3 and a 4-3-1-2 with James just floating. So they
Yeah.
had Decore, Allen, and Gomez as the midfield, and then Rodriguez. And as you were saying, those the three new signings, the Rodriguez, Allen, and Decore, it was amazing, and
Mm.
you could see that it was because of the type of manager they had as well.
Yeah.
You could see that it had the Ancelotti effect,
Oh,
and
definitely.
yeah, and their defense obviously they kept a clean sheet away at Tottenham as a Jose Mourinho at Tottenham. We'll get onto them in a second, but I think they, as you said, and then Richarlison could have scored. He went round Lloris with ease earlier on.
And did whatever he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yep. But no, I think the thing I would say, Everton. I know it's been one game, but we put Everton finishing 8th. For me, after the performances,
Mm,
I,
yeah.
I feel,
We'll
I
give it
feel, yeah.
time. Give it time.
Obviously, it's only been one game. Right, quickly onto Tottenham.
Just
Yeah,
before we go on to Tottenham, one thing I want to say, because I've given him a lot of stick in the past, and I'll give credit where credit's due when you've had a pretty decent performance. I actually thought Pickford brought out some very good saves,
he did.
so fair
He
play
did.
to him.
He
I've
did.
taken the mick out of him in the past saying he's got no arms because I'm cool like that, but I'll give credit where it's due. He made some very important saves,
He
so
did.
fair play to
He
him.
did. He saved from Doherty, I believe, and he tipped.
Yeah.
I believe he tipped a shot over as well. But yes, Tottenham. I thought
Oh
Doherty.
Jesus.
I thought Doherty did all right on his debut. Obviously, he could have had the chance to score. Um, Harry Kane had 3 touches in their box.
I just thought the entire performance of any team I've watched through this opening weekend, they looked absolutely knackered. There was
Even
no
the
pressing
no,
intensity. It just looked as if the entire performance was disjointed. I mean, I don't really know what Mourinho was doing. Like, we've been watching him on this documentary of All or Nothing, and like, he's like kind of grown on me a bit there. But like, taking stuff like Ali off, and then he's like put Sissoko like on the like, I think he
yeah,
put him on the right or something. And it just seemed like the entire team was just completely disjointed, and it just didn't work. And
it
it was
didn't.
just a really lackluster, tired, poor performance. They look
Mm,
like a team that have just, well, obviously every team's not really had a pre-season, but they look like how I think most teams will look like at the end of this
yeah.
season. That's how tired they looked. And I mean, how they're going to get through this campaign if they're struggling that much
Well, did you
already?
see?
Jeez.
I can't remember what, but it was like I think it's Harry Kane or Tottenham. They'll have the equivalent amount of games as like a third of the season or something in the space of
Hmm.
a month because of their Europa
Yeah.
League, yeah, all
Oh,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, I've
And if they
seen
play
that.
like
Yeah.
that, they're losing everything. They
Yeah.
they played worse than than West Brom did, in my opinion, and West Brom lost 3-0.
I mean, I didn't see
But
West Brom, so I can't comment on
no,
that.
but no, West Brom. Well, yeah. Um, I don't know whether you saw or read, but there was an article about why haven't the likes of Man United or Man City gone for Harry Kane, like tried to make a bid on him because he's getting the goals, but he's not getting the trophies, and it made me wonder why haven't they? Because he looks frustrated.
Yeah.
Like if that Tottenham team, if Mourinho doesn't bring them a trophy, and some of their players are going to go because Harry Kane's not going to sit about because he knows he's good and he is good. He gets
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was him, I'd look at it now and I'd think, right, I'm going to give it one more year. If we don't get like an FA Cup, a Europa League, even a Carabao Cup, if we don't get anything this year, right, my time's come. I've given everything I've had to this club. I've given them goals after goals after goals, and it's not getting me anywhere. There's only so much as a striker you can do. I think like this time next year, if they've not won anything, that he should probably move on.
I think he should. Right, Monday Night Football. We had the Sheffield United Wolves, and obviously Brighton Chelsea. We'll talk Sheffield United Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I only saw the first half of this game, but it seemed to all happen in the first half.
You didn't need to see the second half. It was just Sheffield United trying to press and Wolves defending well. There we go. You saw the second half.
Thanks for that. But no, I mean, Wolves got off to a flyer.
They did.
Who is it on Wolves' left? What's it? Is it Podence?
I believe it was Podence on the Neto. Neto left Podence and Jimenez. I believe Neto and Podence were mix and match.
Oh right. No, I'm trying to think for the first goal who it was that literally just skipped round.
The first.
Lundstrom.
Oh, the assist. The guy got it was. Yeah. It was Podence.
That was it. Yeah, literally. I mean, Lundstrom just went to the floor and Podence was just like, right, see ya. Like it was one of the easiest ways of getting past a player I've ever seen. Whipped in a pretty decent ball, but I mean, how Jimenez finished it, like from there, first time, just sublime.
I do have a concern for Wolves though, because we still have a month of the transfer window. If he's doing that for the next few weeks, someone might buy him.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because he did that, and he got his best goal scoring season last season. He's getting better and better, and Wolves are there. But is he really gonna stay for himself at a club who this season doesn't have Europe? Okay, they may have an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup run, but what if they don't? For him personally, he might be like, I can go to a bigger club.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think from Wolves' point of view, that they're not skint by any means. Yeah. They don't have to sell. I think I read something. If they were going to sell him, they wanted 70 odd million, didn't they? Wolves, and I mean, for a 29-year-old, don't get me wrong, he's good.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot to weigh up there. But I mean, looking at them, I can't see a reason why he'd want to leave. I mean, they're in a fantastic position at the minute.
Yeah, they are. And if they do it right, they'll keep pressing. But there's the few players there. If they were to lose them, then something. But yeah, you are right,
mean,
Dave.
Sorry, go on.
It would just be him personally, as you said, 29. He might be like, right, I'm going to be 30, 31 next season. Want a trophy maybe, but who knows? Wolves could have. Because they could have a run in the FA Cup. I can see them without Europe. I could see them.
Yeah, I agree.
Sheffield United.
From what I saw first half, I don't think they were necessarily like really bad or anything. It was just Wolves caught them out twice, and
they had a great start.
That was it.
And then it was.
I mean, I can't really look into it that much. Like I've thought about, maybe. You know, if people are going to have Sheffield's number now, maybe know a bit more how they play, which they will, and how much of a factor that'll be in them finishing lower down the table, I don't know yet. But, I mean, there's maybe them little small questions of his second season syndrome and things like that. But I think for how they played, it wasn't horrendous, so it is a bit too early to tell that, in my opinion.
And they did, in the second half, they did press Wolves a lot. They were going for that. They were going for the goals. Wolves just defended well. Right.
That's fair enough.
Final game of this game week. Well, there is the Manchester games, but obviously they weren't played. So, final game that we will talk about is the Brighton Chelsea. First up, I want to talk Brighton, just because they didn't do too badly for me. Obviously, Reece James scored an absolute belter, and then Dunk probably should have scored to make it 2-2, and then deflection from Zuma's shot goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Trossard was a nice goal, and we'll get on to why I only said nice and not good. We'll get on to that.
I think I might know what that is.
Yep. But no, from the performance, they played well, but they just looked, as they have done in lots of seasons against the big clubs, they just look drained as it goes on and on the game.
Mm-hmm.
But as we predicted, I still think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But as you said with one of the other games we reviewed, this isn't the type of game where they would have really looked and gone, oh, this is where we get our points from. Well, they'll be fine.
See, I'd be upset if I was a Brighton fan, because I personally think that they played better than Chelsea. And I think that they should have got something out of the game. Not should have, but they definitely could have got something out of that game. They outplayed Chelsea for me for a lot of that game. And Chelsea were lucky, really lucky.
To be fair, I do agree up to... I know the goals, the equaliser and then back to 2-1 was only 2 minutes apart. But up until Reece James scored that goal, I do agree with you. But after that, they did look like they were... When it got past the hour mark and...
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, but yeah, I think for that first 10 minutes, especially of the second half when they got the goal, like they'd completely pinned Chelsea back. Like they were fantastic then.
They were.
Like,
and
really good.
Alzate had a good game, I felt.
Bar giving the ball back. was it him who did the back pass? That was him, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Right, Chelsea. We'll step by step go through it. We'll go through the new signings first. Obviously, only Werner and Havertz played. Werner, in his interview, as I mentioned, he said that the physicality was there, were completely different to Germany. But Werner impressed me. He picked up a knee, his muscle around his knee. He had some issues after the foul by Matty Ryan, but he said he'll be fit for Liverpool. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I was impressed by him. His movement and how he runs and how he hangs on like the shoulder of the last defender. It kind of reminds me of how Vardy plays.
Yeah,
and like that style. And bloody hell, he is quick. Like I knew he was fast, but like actually seeing him like get the ball, pass it off, and then like make his run. Like he's just there, like almost gliding past people, and you just like he honestly, if Ruben lost his cheek, could pick a pass, he probably could have had two goals last night.
Havertz, thoughts?
I mean,
like compared to
it wasn't the best debut,
no.
But again, it's a new league. Obviously, he's a lot younger than Werner. Obviously, I know Werner did better, but there's an age difference there, and I think with that comes maturity. He'll be fine. It's first game. It's always going to take time to bed in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, obviously, there's that video going around of his pass, which is interesting.
Yes, but I feel like he was finding his feet. He didn't do amazingly, but it wasn't like he gave the ball away. He was sloppy on the ball. It was a debut to get it done. Really, it wasn't like a debut to remember for good or bad.
Yeah.
Defensively, they were decent. I felt like although Brighton were pressing them, they did hold. Trossard scored from out of the box, went through a lot of bodies. Kepa.
I mean, I have to say, when it actually happened in the game, and like they started slating him a bit, I was like, I didn't think it was that bad. It was only when it actually came into the Sky Sports studio and Neville was really going in on him, which I understand, but I still think a little bit too far.
I don't.
But anyway,
I don't.
Well, that's fair enough. But when I actually saw the replay and it's just like gone under his arms, I'm like, that's not good.
In the Sky Sports, they were bringing up the stats. I think it was he conceded, what is it, 20% more goals than he should have done to the shots he had against him.
Yeah.
They did panic buy for 70 million. There's no way he's 70 million.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Frank Lampard, obviously, as Gary Neville said, only said that because he's publicly talking. He's not going to slate his keeper. But it's issues.
Yeah.
Issues.
Well,
I
think we should leave it at just issues.
Lampard's saying if we buy a keeper, it'll be for competition, and I'm happy with Kepa. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it at issues. I think, as Gary Neville said, and Jamie Carragher was agreeing, until they get that top keeper, that title's not going anywhere near Stamford Bridge.
I'd agree with that, but I don't want to be too harsh on him. But yeah.
But
I agree.
All I will be like is, I know Man City, as City, we do sometimes score freely, but Kepa, £70 million, conceded 6 goals to us, and you're trying to challenge us and Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll leave that one because I could just reiterate what Gary Neville has said because I generally did agree with most of the things they were saying.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, moving on to another long-range strike.
Yes.
Jeez!
Yes.
Mate, James!
Not as good as Vincent Kompany.
Mad.
Not as good as Kompany. Just saying.
I know. The funniest part of that entire goal was, so Brighton had scored, and my dad was texting me during the match, and we were watching on my housemate's Sky Go, which for some reason, even though it's a Sky actual stream, is like a minute or two behind the game. So my dad messaged me after the Brighton goal, had just got in on my end, just saying, "Oh, what an amazing goal!" And I said, "Oh yeah, don't message me though, because I'm a bit behind." And then literally about 30 seconds later, a message just come through, just going, "Fuck me." And like, my dad doesn't even ever swear, right? So I just replied, "What?" And the next thing you know, Reece James just picks it up and hits an absolute thunderbolt, and I'm just like, "What?"
Yeah.
So where's that come from?
I did not expect that to happen at all. I was just like, okay, but.
And I mean, I felt bad for Brighton because I can understand them why heads would drop because they've worked that hard to get back into the game. They finally got it, and then it's literally a case of Chelsea just go down one end. The fullback will just pick it up, and be like, "Yeah, can't be bothered with this anymore," and just there you go. So
I know, obviously, great goal, but I do have a question for you. If the goalkeeper is taller, do you think he at least gets something on it? I've always said this with Brighton. The point, some of their issues, Matty Ryan is small for a goalkeeper. And he always does look like he can be beaten from range. Because if you hit it cleanly, like Reece James did, Matty Ryan's not getting there.
I
don't think
that,
a keeper would have saved it. I'm not saying a keeper would have saved it, but do you think would at least got like a fit? Because it was so far from his hand.
I mean, maybe, yeah, but what I will say is in actual defence of Matty Ryan, and I was really impressed last night, the way that Graham Potter has got them playing of no booting it upfield. Like, they were trying everything they could to pass it out from the back, doing triangles, like, with centre-backs, full-backs, goalkeeper. Matty Ryan looked so confident on the ball yesterday.
He did.
I'm not going to say, I have not watched much of Brighton at all, but I was really impressed with like their style of play, and they were not backing down. They were like, right, we're not going to punt it upfield. We are going to work our way up there. And whilst I'm doing Brighton player praise before we move on to the last Chelsea goal, Tariq Lamptey, mate, what a player he is.
Yeah.
What a little gem he is.
Yeah, he's been...
I'm telling you now, if we did think, you know something, we're going to move Trent into midfield, I'd happily have him at our right-back spot. Happily.
Oh, he's
good.
He did when there was the restart, and then now he's played very well. He has played very well. A Brighton player I did feel sorry for, Adam Lallana.
Mate.
The injury.
I was cheering for him every time he got the ball. I just really wanted it to happen for him. And not even like just, you know, scoring all this stuff, but like I just really wanted him to just go somewhere, have a good run of games because he deserves it. He's been a really good player for us over the years, despite his injuries. And yeah, I was gutted for him. I have to say, I'm hoping he's back soon because he deserves a good run, and I think he'd be really good for Brighton. I really do.
I think he would, especially because they've lost Aaron Moy, Brighton.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like they have the same types of passes and plays about them.
yeah. He did have one moment before he got injured where he'd like put a ball around the corner. I can't remember who did it go through to. Your striker. His name's escaping me at the minute, but he did like put a ball through. I think like someone's leg or like round the corner, and like the striker just ended up not doing anything with it. But it was
Yeah,
like your typical tidy Adam Lallana-esque pass. And I was like, "There's a little glimpse of what he can do." So,
yeah, I did.
yeah, I was a bit gutted for him, but hopefully it's just a little tweak or something.
Right. At this point, it was 2-1. And 10 minutes later,
Mm-hmm.
I believe was it from a corner?
Yeah, it was swinging
Came
from a
back,
corner,
yeah,
and it was
came back out
massive
and
deflection
Zuma.
on it.
Yes, and then Webster got in because I from what it looks like, Matty Ryan was diving straight onto it,
Yeah,
and then
it just completely wrong-footed him, didn't
yeah,
it? Really, but.
and then
And
that
I mean, the only other talking point, I guess, from that entire game would be the dunk chance.
yes,
And I'm going to say
2-1.
something to you now, Wade. I'm going to say something to you now. He would have scored that goal if it wasn't for one thing. And that one thing is the fact he's in my fantasy team. And I was destined to have a bad week. So you're welcome.
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
God.
I did think because he had so much free time, like it was just free,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, and then I just don't know what happened because Dunk,
It was one of them where, like, if it happens another 99 times, he'd score it
yes,
100%. And it's just this one time he's just completely got it wrong. And, yeah, it's not happened. Which
yes,
is a shame for
I
both Brighton and my fantasy team. I'm in arms with you, Brighton fans.
he will probably get that chance in maybe even next game, and it will go in.
Yeah.
I just, oh yes, no, you did say Brighton. I don't know whether I don't think a loss by 2 goals give it justice, but I do think out of everything, Chelsea probably did deserve the 3 points.
Nah,
But
I don't know if I agree with that. I actually think Brighton played that well. They deserved a draw for me, but
fair
there
enough.
we are.
Fair enough.
I'm showing a lot of Brighton love tonight, aren't
You are. But I mean, that's all the games. So, anything
I?
else you
Before we
want to?
go, one thing, you'll have to tell me this because I don't know. But we have started putting our predictions before the game week begins now on our Twitter. So we'll leave our Twitter link underneath this video if you want to check us out and follow us over there. And that's where we're going to be putting our predictions from now on instead of making a full video on it. So it's a lot simpler to just have a look at. So would you like to reveal the scores from this week, Wade?
Well, we do. I don't know whether we haven't said. So we predict, and if you get it exactly right, you get 2 points. And if you are you alone, or you and someone else, or all three of us, are the closest by the goal difference, like 1 goal. Because if I feel like closest, but it's 3 goals, and you did predict wrong.
Yeah.
You get 1 point. And so the end for first week, I can confirm that Jack has 3 points. So you got 1 completely right, and 1 he was closest. I have 5. I got 2, I believe 2 completely right, and 1 closest, the same one as Jack. Then you had 2 because you got 1 completely right, and then it came down to, I believe, was it Sunday it was Monday. Came down to yesterday. You had 2 points, and I was like, he's not going to get this. And then you predicted Wolves completely right. I was like, oh. And then I looked. I was like, oh, he's got the Chelsea one right as well. So you did win this first week with 6 points.
Come on!
Yes.
Can I just say, the best part was, Wade said to me on, I think it was Sunday, he said, Greg, you're losing. And I was jokingly saying, you wait for the comeback of dreams. It's going to happen. Because last year when we started predicting results and things, I had a really bad first week. And
You got
then
0 the first week.
Yeah, I did. I started steamrolling through after that. So the comeback has happened once again. But it was just mid-game week, and there we are.
It was.
But we'll be keeping track of that for everyone. And
Yes.
updating you every week. I mean, that'll probably be the only time I'm top this season, so I'm going to celebrate it once I can. That's why Jack's not on tonight, by the way, because he came last, so he
Yes, yes.
sacrificed himself.
I do want to quickly say, I don't know whether you saw, but Aubameyang has signed a new 3-year deal with Arsenal.
400 grand a week.
Yes. Jack Grealish signs a new 5-year deal with Aston Villa.
I don't know how much money, but I'm assuming a lot of money a week.
I will just get it up now. Does it even say? I don't. Doesn't say, but I'm guessing. Who knows? And Spurs are in talks with Gareth Bale over a loan deal.
That'd be so saucy. Go on, get him back.
Yeah,
bring him back.
I would absolutely love to have him back. And Tottenham are also in talks to sign the Real Madrid left back who was on loan at Sevilla last season, Sergio Reguilon.
Yeah, they're going to snatch him from Man United, aren't they?
Yeah. He had an absolute belter of a season. So if Tottenham get those two, then, and this was an interesting one. I don't know whether you saw this. Bayern Munich have revived their Hudson-Odoi interest.
I did see that, and I thought it was really weird. But yeah,
yes, I was going to ask you because they've bought Sane, they have Gnabry, they have Koeman, and I know Perisic has gone back to Inter, but they could have just kept.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like if they get Hudson-Odoi, they're planning for the future, aren't they, winger-wise?
True,
I mean,
true.
If they got Hudson-Odoi as well, that's 4 very young. Well, I know, Gnabry's the oldest, isn't he? 25.
Yeah.
But that's like, relatively speaking, that's some really good wingers, like a set of 4 wingers that are young. So, no, it's impressive. And whilst we're on transfer news, just a quick update. We're still apparently squabbling over about £3.50 for the Thiago deal still. So, there we go. We still have no money, apparently. But I hate this. As a Liverpool fan, we've never had a time where, well, not that I can remember, where we've had a transfer go on, talks and all this stuff, go on for this long in the summer. It's normally like United or something like that it happens to.
Yes.
I've never had this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm bored. I'm bored of it. Well, if he's gonna come, can you just do it?
I was gonna say that's the similar situation with Man City and Koulibaly. Apparently we're still in talks, but we don't want to talk to Napoli because of everything that happened because we were meant to sign Jorginho from Napoli and they faffed about and basically Jorginho went to Chelsea, and so we're like, well, we don't want to talk to you.
I'm not being funny. Isn't it a bit of a problem? Like, you can't just be like, I don't want to talk to you because they kind of own him.
Yeah,
so how's that going to work?
We're in talks with Koulibaly's representatives, but we don't want to directly Man City to Napoli. I tried to go through a third party who's going to pass on each message. Because we don't want any.
So that's going to take a really long time then if it's going to happen.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Because I would like Koulibaly, but who knows?
Well, there's some transfer news for you.
Yes.
Don't say we don't treat you.
I just thought I had it up, I would ask you. But I believe that's everything for this.
It certainly is.
Week 1 review. We will. I mean, I don't know whether we'll do a preview. Well, you know what? I know this is kind of harsh on Jack, but we're going to do a preview. Not guessing scores, but just go through the games and what's your standout game of the fixtures coming up.
Well, it's easy, isn't it? Chelsea, Liverpool.
Oh, okay. Apart from that one.
Oh God! I'll have to rest them up. That's the only one I've even concentrated on.
I'll read them out for you. We've got Everton.
I've got it here. Don't worry.
Okay. So obviously Everton, West Brom, Leeds, Fulham, Man United, Palace, Arsenal, West Ham from Saturday. For me, Saturday, Leeds, Fulham, the 2 promoted clubs. Second game.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Second game could be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, Southampton, Tottenham, Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leeds, Burnley. Obviously that one, the Chelsea.
Leeds, Burnley.
Leicester, Burnley. Don't know why I said Leeds.
Leeds are that good. They're now playing twice.
Yeah, they are. Obviously, the game of this game week is Chelsea Liverpool.
Yeah,
And it
but
should
apart
be,
from that, taking that out of consideration, Wolves Man City, your opening
yes,
game of the season.
our opening game of the season and then yes, Monday Aston Villa Sheffield United, and then Wolves Man City. Could be interesting because obviously Wolves had that good start. They beat us. They beat us twice last season.
Yeah, yeah,
Adama Traore scored, and then we bottled a 2-0 lead when we had 10 men to lose 3-2. And we are at Molineux, and it's our first game, so we haven't had.
that'll be interesting.
And it will be interesting. Obviously, I'll save the predictions for when we do it coming up.
On Twitter, yep.
Yeah, but depending on which team he fields, all I'm going to say is interesting. The game will be interesting.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to, I'd say, just get all the games out there. But yeah, that I believe is everything from us tonight. Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much.
See ya.
Speak to you soon.